Hey all you colorful sprinkles, I have an awesome trip planned for us today. So hop in the car. It's a little cold in here, so I brought a blanket with. But hop on in, it's about to get really fun. Alright, so we're driving through Spring Green, Wisconsin to head to one of Wisconsin's most popular tourist attractions. No, not this place, though. It's really cool architecture. Kind of reminds me that of Frank Lloyd Wright, which also there's a Frank Lloyd Wright house out here as well. But we're not here for that. We are here for House on the Rock, and I can't wait. I have been waiting years to come here. I've always wanted to see this place. Everyone tells me it's amazing. So let's go on in. Also, for those of you who are new here, please hit the subscribe button because this video will also be in 2 parts. I had so much footage that I had to make this into 2 videos. All right, let's go. Let's drive down the path on our way in. There were a lot of sculptures driving past it, but it did take a while, so I didn't really want to bore you with that because there's so many things we've got to see today. We're here.
We're here?
We're here. We actually drove 2 hours and 30 minutes to get here, but it was well worth it, and I know people have driven from all over the world to come see this place, so we're very lucky to be able to be here today, and we're going with my family as well, so you might see them pop up in the shots. They're visiting, and we're gonna see some crazy awesome things. First, let's go down this pathway here. Let me tell you a little bit about the House on the Rock. For those of you who haven't heard of House on the Rock, it's an iconic architectural marvel, and it's kind of an eccentric museum located in Spring Green, Wisconsin. Originally conceived by Alex Jordan Jr. in the 1940s, it really started construction in 1945. Jordan's vision for the structure wasn't merely as a home, but as a surreal retreat where he could showcase his eccentric collections. By the 1960s, the site was open to the public, and Jordan realized that visitors were just as fascinated with his quirky collections and decor as they were the house itself. Over the decades, the house grew into an enormous complex, adding attractions like the Infinity Room, which juts out precariously over the valley, and countless exhibits showcasing everything from giant musical machines to life-size carousels filled with fantastical creatures. And you'll see all of that a little bit later on in the video. Alex Jordan continued to expand the house until his death in 1989, and today the House on the Rock is part of a much larger complex, including museums and several additional buildings. Visitors often describe it as bizarre, immersive, and it blends fantasy with art and architecture in a way that is only unique to this place. I'm excited to see what the house has in store for us because this is just the welcome center. This is where you come in and get your tickets and go on your way into the building. And look at this cool little jug. I love it. Everything is handmade art, and you look around, you see some of the most bizarre creatures and things, machines that haven't been around for hundreds of years. Mind you, some of those creatures are a bit horrifying. If you're a very tall person, the roofs can actually get kind of small in this place. The building seems to shrink and grow depending on what rooms you are in the building. This one I actually had to duck down not to hit my head on the roof, which this roof was covered in carpet, so it probably wouldn't have hurt that bad, but I didn't want to risk it, so I ducked down and walked into the next room, and I was just so surprised at how beautiful this was. All the stained glass work throughout the house. Now, it claims some of them are Tiffany, but I don't think all of them are Tiffany. I do think there are some Tiffany imitations, but inside this room was a little band, and it played for us. Throughout the exhibit, I did see a lot of these lights, like a person holding these stained glass lamps, and I thought they're absolutely beautiful. I would love one of those. There were several throughout the entire exhibit, so we'll probably see some more later. But then we stepped outside, and for good luck, you rub the belly of the statue, according to the sign. So a little bit of good luck there. There we go. I don't think we'll need it on this trip. It already seems a lot of fun. And ooh, a peacock. Look how colorful. It's all made out of metal scraps. If you aren't used to doing a lot of walking, well, this place might not be for you just simply because this place is all walking. It's like We spent 4 hours here walking around and still feel like we saw only a bit of it. However, if you do need to take a seat, there are plenty of benches all over, which made it really nice because Caden and Nikki needed to be able to stop and take breaks, and those benches were perfect for that. Plus, it allows you some time to explore and enjoy the rooms. This room kind of gives conversation pit vibes from the 70s. However, it's not really sunken into the ground, it's just in its own little area. As we make our way through the hallway, we're going to end up at another location called the Infinity Room. The Infinity Room is one of the most iconic and visually stunning features in the House on the Rock. It was added in 1985, and it's designed to create an illusion of an endless space, which is where the name comes from. It's 218 feet out from the main house, and it's kind of hanging over a scenic view below. You can actually feel the room going up and down. This has got to be one of the biggest fireplace bellows I've ever seen in my entire life. Now, this room had a few lights out, and I'm assuming because there's like one of those robotic bands in there that maybe the machine was down due to maintenance. So we kept walking past that. There's some more beautiful waterfalls in the middle of a house, and people were throwing money in there. There's actually dollar bills floating in there, which was kind of weird. This house has a very maze-like design, but what's really nice about it is you're welcome to explore a lot of the areas on your own and kind of explore the rooms. And kind of like IKEA, you know how they have arrows on the floor that point you in one direction? Well, this place just kind of has little pathways that go in one direction, and as long as you follow them and stay on the pathways, you see everything because it takes you by all the places. Yeah, some people are the perfect height for this. I, on the other hand, have to duck. This stained glass table is so beautiful. It's such a wonderful idea to turn stained glass into tables. Like, I never would have thought of that. As we went upstairs, I noticed some music was playing, so I wanted to go see what that was all about. Sound like another one of those player pianos or something? This Alex guy had quite the book collection. Look how many levels this goes down. The attention to detail in here is incredible. I mean, every nook had some sort of statue or tchotchke on it. It really is incredible how much stuff there actually is in this house. Walking around this, you really get to appreciate the place's architecture and unusual shapes. Now, I'm not sure if it's because they're re-theming it for Halloween, but there were these awesome masks coming down this pathway. I don't know if this is a year-round thing. I mean, I can't even tell the difference anymore, whether it's Halloween or another celebration going on. And we have our first clown sighting, although this clown doesn't have a red nose. Weird. Maybe it fell off when he saw the person standing across from him. And now that we've made our way down the hill, we're gonna enter the second house, the attachment, one of the build-ons. And when you're walking in, if you look to the side here, you might actually see this cool water mill spinning. Right up front, there was a lot of glass art in this room, and I couldn't help but notice the guns hanging on the wall. There was a lot of guns, and this table, which was filled with Melifiori paperweights, it looked like Murano glass, maybe. Now, you see this token machine over here? It's actually for some of the coin-operated things going throughout the exhibits. You can actually put coins in them and make them animate and do different things. So we grabbed some coins to fill our pockets with, and now we're gonna go explore some more. Look at these cool coin-operated banks. They're trick banks, and they do all sorts of different stuff. Some people might find this house a little spooky, and others might be repulsed by the sheer amount of dolls that are throughout this entire exhibit. And, yeah, I don't blame you. Some of them are kind of creepy, but I kind of like the creepy. It's a little charming. This one here was a coin op. I think he actually flicks people off. I didn't put a coin in that one, but I would have loved to have seen that. So might have to go back and do some of the coin ops. Just go through one day and do all of the coin operated things throughout the entire building. Now we head into the streets of yesterday, but first we're greeted by some beautiful Fabergé eggs. There was a weird sound coming from around the corner. It kind of sounded like the Wheel of Fortune wheel. And it's actually this Uncle Sam handshake machine, which my sister got. Let's see what she gets. Strong-willed. She gets strong-willed on there. This is kind of cool too. Here's a coin op. It's kind of an automaton. We put the coin in it, and it's called the Dying Drunk. So you see this guy laying in bed, and once you put the coin in, maybe the devil pops out of his closet there. His hand's kind of twitching. Oh, something's happening behind the bed. There's a little skeleton popping up. Ooh, and a skeleton in the clock there, too. The devil's back, and the man's kind of shaking his hands a little bit. And he seems to be done. Oh, nope, he's still moving a little bit. It's really interesting, and I wonder how old this actual machine is, because it's kind of old looking. This is really the area where the coin op stuff really starts to pop up here. One of the first ones I saw was a magician. Unfortunately, his trick's kind of getting revealed. I guess he's kind of sloppy with his sleight of hand as the item disappears before he even puts the hat on it. This area kind of gave Meow Wolf meets like Diagon Alley type vibes to it. It's kind of interesting that each little business here had its own little theme. For instance, there's a dentist shop in here. Some apothecaries. Beautiful displays of glass bottles being backlit. They look beautiful, and all the different colors that come off of them. Not everything is at eye level here. In fact, if you look up, you'll see some people staring back down at you. The music of yesterday area seemed to be roped off. I don't know if that's because the area was closed, because there was another area that looked just like it later on in the tour, but this area seemed to be closed off. So let's keep going on the path and see what we find on our way. Now, this thing called the Gladiator, this is one of the largest coin-operated machines I think I've seen in my lifetime.
No fuck.
Someone was kind enough to put a coin in so we could all enjoy it. that performance, Caden and Nikki got their fortunes told. This room had an aquatic feel to it. As we went in, it kind of forewarned us as to what we were going to see, but even with these little warnings, nothing would prepare us for what we were about to see around the corner here. Look at this gigantic sea monster well, I guess it's a whale being eaten by a sea monster, like a kraken or something. Look at this. The video doesn't really show how big this is, but it's multiple stories. Next, let's put a coin in this little coin op here. Now that we're in that nautical mood, let's head up this hill here. That way we can get a closer look at, well, first we get the windows here, but we also get a closer look at the giant monster, which kind of looks like it's supposed to be a kraken or something like that. I'm not sure. What do you think? What kind of animal do you think this is? Or do you think it's like some sort of giant squid? Hey, look, it's the guy from the Cracker Jack box. Nature's so cool that it makes things like this. Look at this sponge skeleton. I think I really love that house on the rock. Not only is the architecture extraordinarily detailed, but all the little items in it. There's so many details. Just look at the close-up of these pirate ships. They're just every little piece of fabric, every knot, every rope is included on it. These are just really high-end, small-scale things, or in this case, large-scale. After we left the nautical area, we were greeted by this parlor room, which kind of looked normal, except for the fact that it was closed off from the actual pathway. You don't actually go through that room. But it looked fairly tame compared to what we had just seen. And I maybe spoke too soon, because in the very next room was this gold-lined carriage, and just look how beautiful and ornate that is. This room is almost just designed to display this one particular piece. Continuing on, we start ending up in the rooftops of a little small town, perhaps a neighborhood even. There's some hot air balloons floating by, and around us are trains and collectible toy cars and more balloons, more angels, more trees, some marionette puppets, which I love puppets. Those are really cool looking. And look at these beautiful masks. I especially like this one here. Now, this apparently is a Rube Goldberg machine. I didn't get to see it in action though. A lot of what we sell at Gasoline Alley and Relic Road are these toy cars, so I'm very familiar. I've seen a lot of these at my job. Is it me, or are their eyes following me? I could smell food in the air, so I knew we must be near the food court area, where they had a few little sit-down areas, like an ice cream shop and a little restaurant that had slices of pizza. But also, in the middle of these little buildings, I don't think they have any other purpose than to be another type of display. This one was a camera store, and it had so many different types of cameras. And behind that building were some beautiful car displays as well. Some of these cars were very unusual, like this one and this one, which was kind of branded. That kind of looks like a little wagon car. Like a circus wagon, maybe? Possibly a hearse? And this one was covered in tiles. We were getting kind of hungry, so we sat down to grab a slice of pizza, which it was kind of a little expensive. And I noticed these beautiful Carter posters all over the wall. After lunch, Caden and Nikki also decided to grab some ice cream because they also have ice cream here. There weren't that many flavors, but you know, just nice, cool, delicious snack. We continued on through, and I also noticed the Music of Tomorrow section, or at least this is what it appeared to be earlier on when we thought it was closed off, so I guess this way is the way to go to get to that. Now, this section, of course, was based around the music, although there was a lot of music earlier. We did walk through another kind of cityscape area, and another orchestra that wasn't playing anything. Some drums and accordions, and another peacock like the one we saw outside earlier. Beautiful stained glass. This weird steampunk looking coffee machine. And of course, Caden adored the bug room, which had butterflies and moths all over the walls. I think he wants to do our entire house like this. I wouldn't be against it. We took some time to appreciate the natural art of these beautiful bugs, but then we heard the music. It was coming from down the hall. After that kind of had like a musical churchy vibe to it. There seemed to be a few out of order music machines in this place because this person here put a coin in and then the machine never started. It kind of just ate their coin, honestly. It really was extravagant though. I wish we could have seen it working. This is a cool coin-operated machine with some furry critters playing some music. Sometimes I feel like I'm on the set of Phantom of the Opera in this place. All that's missing is a phantom. Maybe I spoke too soon. You can really see the motor going in this one. This place is so magical, and look, even just these window displays is something as simple as a bunch of national cash registers, but look how beautiful they look. They really do put on display human craftsmanship. Now this is probably the best deal in the United States. You can get your tooth pulled for only 50 cents. Although looking at the tools this dentist used, it's probably not going to feel too great. As we venture towards the edge of this room, you'll notice the backdrop slowly start turning red, and that's for a very important reason, and that's because we're heading into what's called the Red Room.
Red Room.
No, the Red Room. It did have some characters, though, as almost disturbing as The Shining was. connected to this area was the Spirit of Aviation Room. I'm not too sure what 7-Up has to do with aviation, but I'm sure if I read the signs on it, I probably would know why. There's also a steam engine in there for some reason, and a beautiful Shell gas pump. Then past all of the aviation stuff, I could hear a little bit of a noise coming from the other room, but there wasn't much except for this red glow. And then I saw it. This is what House on the Rock is famous for. I don't want to spoil it yet, but you can kind of see what it is. This is a huge carousel. Now you can't ride it, unfortunately, but it's definitely something to take in and appreciate. It looked like some sort of rapture was happening, and a horse rapture or something. I can't imagine what the idea behind this room is, and maybe there's nothing to get. Maybe it's just beautiful art. Maybe that's just the point of House on the Rock. Maybe it really just is all art and a little bit of craziness and some funky ideas and a weird taste in decorating. Whatever it is, I love this place, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. Now, we're only halfway through this video. However, I'm going to end it here and put the second half next week. So make sure, if you're not already subscribed to this channel, that you hit the subscribe button, because we're going to enter the mouth of the beast and keep going further into the House on the Rock.